What up, guys? I felt like today was a very appropriate time to make a video. I think right now where we're at in Bitcoin, the fear index is at the highest it's been, pretty much since that 3K, 2K, that 3K level. So a lot of people are saying get out, sell, and I've noticed that when a lot of people are saying buy, it's been at the top, and when when majority of the people are saying sell, it's usually at the bottom. A lot of people are saying buy at 20K. A lot of people were saying sell at 3. A lot of people were saying buy at 13, and a lot of people were saying sell right here. So what's the deal, guys? You buying, you selling, you win, you out. Well, I want to cover it today, but I want to go over this disclaimer first. It's not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence. I'm simply stating my own opinion, nothing more, nothing less. And past performance is not an indicator of future performance. So, this isn't a financial advice. Do your own due diligence, research. I could be wrong. There's a lot of times I am wrong. The reason it doesn't really affect me as much is because I'm quick to admit when I'm wrong and switch my strategy to whatever is appropriate with the trend. Okay, so alright, anyways, I want to dive into it. I'm going to talk about two things today. First, I'm going to talk about, is this movement that we saw, is it normal, or did we move up too fast? And one thing I'm hearing from a lot of traders and people who analyze Bitcoin, they're saying that it went up too fast, and maybe this is a failed retest of this 20K, and we're looking at extended bear market, and people aren't seeing the bigger picture. And this was really just a failed retest, and we're just going to start consolidating for multiple years. Maybe we're starting a multiple year bear market. I disagree with that. I'll talk about that later. And then second of all, what happens, or first off, what I really want to talk about is what's going to happen if we start breaking below the 6-year channel. And I've talked about this multiple times, that if we do lose the 6-year channel on the log scale, it is quite possible that we start that multiple year bear market. But it's also possible that one scenario that I'm entertaining is that we can have a really massive kind of sell-off here, maybe to 65 or 62, maybe even lower. It could be a huge wick, but the close is going to be the most important thing. And even if we do close below, I feel very confident that the next week we're going to at minimum see a retest of this line. But I do think that even if there is a sell-off, we should quickly regain it back if we, if this really is not the end of this Bitcoin bull market. Alright, because here we've seen a wick down, then we've seen a quick recovery up. We saw the same thing here. We touched this line and then we just kind of shot up. And right now we're seeing a retest here. So I do think like in the next week or two we should see, a move up to at least 7,400. So, I mentioned this in previous videos. I started scaling in around 8,300, and then I bought a little bit there, and then most of my position was bought in this blue zone, and I was able to get in at 75, and then later that week we just we really sold off. So did I miss out on the opportunity to buy at a better price? Yes, I did, but when we hit this channel, I had some extra cash laying around, so I added to my position on the channel, and now we're at this channel again. So what I'm doing is I'm actually gonna open a leverage position here. I actually did right there too. I have a Twitter account which you guys can follow. just leave a comment if you guys want to see it. If not, I'm not going to promote it. But I also set a leverage long here because I do feel very confident that we're going to see some sort of bounce. And I think this is an ideal time to get in. Okay, just my opinion, right? Could be wrong. Now, even if with the wick down, like I said, the close is going to be important. Now, if we were to get that retest and it falls short, we close below the line, then maybe that's the cause for concern. Then maybe we're going to see that kind of consolidation bear market, the multi-year bear market. But I'd expect a wick back up. Not really too worried there. We've seen it before. We've seen wicks. Saw a huge wick down there. Recovered. Didn't really see anything else from there. But the wicks, they happen. They're just impulsive waves. If you study Elliott wave pattern, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't and you want to learn, I'll give you guys a book that you can read. I'll leave the link down below if you guys ask for it. But so I think we kind of got that covered. I think we're gonna kind of accumulate here. We're gonna accumulate here for a few weeks, and then we should eventually break out this channel by sometime late January, probably early February. We'll start breaking out, and then eventually we'll start making that move towards retesting these all-time highs. Okay. And now the next thing I want to talk about is, like I was saying, a lot of people, there's this sentiment that maybe, you draw a trend line down there and you can see that maybe this was a failed retest of 20K and we're just going to consolidate out. Now, I disagree with that very strongly just because of what we saw in the last run. Let me go back. So, nope, not gonna upgrade. Haven't upgraded, been using a basic account, and I gotta tell you, I'm doing fine. So, don't need the pro account today. But, I'm very simple, man. I eat eggs the same way every day. That's the kind of guy I am. I think a lot of traders kind of share that same sentiment. I actually had a teacher who he ate spaghetti every day. He just made it differently. Smart man. One of the smartest people I've ever met. Ate spaghetti every night. Sometimes fettuccine, sometimes marinara. Maybe sometimes it was plain. But okay, so this rejection at the red line right here, this is very, very normal if you look at the past data, because what happened in our last run after we peaked? We fell, we got rejected at the line, we got rejected at the line, came to the bottom of this line, came up, and by rejection I mean we had to close under, or even if we had to close on top, we quickly went down below. So the wicks up, I consider that a rejection. Those are impulsive moves. Bitcoin is very volatile, so you see a lot of impulse wicks, and you're going to continue to see them. You may see one in the next week or two. But then we kind of moved back up, then we got rejected again, and we started finding support on this blue line. So this blue line slowly became relevant. We found support here, then rejected again. So here's, kind of one rejection here, two rejections here, three rejections here, four rejections here, 5, 6, 7, and then we finally broke, and then we found support here, right? So we kind of moved in between here for, from April 2015 all the way to when we broke it in May 2017. All right. So what's going on here? Well, it looks like almost the exact same things going down, and maybe we'll find support at a new line. Maybe we'll be able to draw a new line. I'm going to play around with it and see if I could figure out where that line may be, but this is absolutely normal price action for Bitcoin based off this last run. So we saw that consolidation for 2 years, and right now we just took our first rejection. So is it possible we consolidate between here and this blue red line? I'm not sure which one's going to serve, because the blue line's a pretty strong line of support. Then it kind of held as support there, then it got rejected. So are we going to consolidate between this black and blue line? Maybe, but it's also possible we move between the red again and we see a couple rejections like last time before really breaking. And once we break over this red line, guys, I think that's where the run's really going to start. So keep that in mind, that there's going to be a lot of points where you can sell when you get to that red line, unless you see a close over. Then we could really start breaking up this black line. And if we break this black line, I think that's where we could really see things go parabolic. Maybe see a 300, 400, 500,000 move if we get there. We'll just have to see when we get there, right? But this price action is completely normal. So, I'm going to lay out the strategy, guys. You can use moving averages, or you can sell, depending on where this resistance is, like I said, because it could be the blue line, could be the red line, so we'll know. But you're going to be able to sell around the top of these points. Definitely the red line. You're going to be able to sell at this red line, buy back lower, and then sell at the red line, and then buy back lower, wherever the support may form. We'll monitor it as we go, and then eventually, you might sell at the red line, but then we're going to get the breakup, and then you could just buy back in. You might lose some profits, but you're also making so much because you're not holding through these losses here. And that's when strict trading gets really fun, because you're taking profits at optimal times, right? So this could be your strategy until we break up, and then maybe you could sell right here, and who knows, maybe we'll have that massive sell-off, or who knows, maybe we'll break up, and then you're going to have a point to buy back in again, and you could just run this thing up until, whenever you want to sell. So, I think the price action we're seeing is very normal. I think it's still possible to see some scam wicks down, but as long as we get the quick recovery, it seems like we're on track. This 6-year channel, I don't see it being broken yet, but if we get that rejection there, then we break down and then we get a close below that line, then yeah, maybe there'll be cause for concern, and we can make a video on that some other time. That's when I would really consider even how heavily I want to position myself into Bitcoin from there, right? But anyways, guys, that's that's all for today. Video's a little longer than I wanted it to be, but I think we're at a the space is dead, but this is a very, very exciting time for Bitcoin. And if you're a believer, hodl on. If you're getting out, well, thanks for playing, guys. Each to their own. I respect everyone's decisions, their moves. It's a very risky asset. I understand if you get out, you're hodling and you're going for the big bucks. I understand that too, So good luck on your endeavors, guys, and until next time.